Hello, and welcome to Indiana ArtsDesk. I'm Marcus Jackman. Thanks for tuning in this week. Coming up tonight, ArtsDesk, oh, here comes the obligatory joke, goes to the dogs with the Muncie Kennel Club's dog show. We'll talk about some of the breeds, how the dogs are judged, and what makes the best show dog attitude. But first,
they'll all take something different away, and some people will find the work, their ideas and opinions will be 180 degrees opposed to other people, and I find that really intriguing.
That's Greg Hull, installation artist and sculptor, as we walk through his soon-to-open exhibit at the Richmond Art Museum. Installation art is, by nature, impermanent. It's typically created for a particular space, say a specific room or a site or surrounding, and it can take many different forms, from a reflective pond of oil to 6-foot paper airplanes. Installation art isn't so much about an object as it is the relationship between the objects, and often between the objects and the audience. Hull says what appeals to him about installation art is that it's not consumable like a framed painting or a 2-foot sculpture.
I mean, it goes back to being very idealistic. I can get into a space that other artists might have trouble getting into because I have no intention of staying there permanently. I go in, affect the space, change the way people perceive that space, and then I'm really happy to take the work back out. And then people that have been there have seen the work. I mean, forever it changes the way they perceive that space, and that's a really nice role for the artist.
Another benefit of installation art, Hull says, is that frequently it finds its way out into the world beyond the gallery's walls, making it easier to engage the full populace, as opposed to the relatively small percentage of people who visit art galleries. One of the thematic elements in much of Hull's work is the crossing of boundaries, of thresholds between different environments. This fascination began when, as a young man, he realized that in the ancient past, the very ground he was standing on had once been at the bottom of a shallow, warm sea.
A lot of the work that I do is still based on that one notion, that looking up and going, the surface of the water's up there. But it made me think a lot about that line between the surface of the water and the surface of the air. And we see the air as almost non-existent, but the water is this very tangible surface. So I like the tension between those two planes.
That surface tension of the reorientation when one passes a threshold is a large part of one installation that Hull calls Undertow. It's 60 black umbrellas in a room on shafts at eye level, each motorized to open and close at different speeds. Viewers ascend a ramp to view it at a different level, breaking the threshold.
I find them really sort of amazing, to be amazing objects, just because of the way they change from very little volume to pretty incredible volume. I mean, that change to me I find really intriguing. There's a sound just as this thing gets to its full sort of extension, where it stretches.
And the plasticky stretch of the umbrellas is just part of the noise. The squeak of some of the motors sounds like a haunted house door or a seesaw. The light whirring of the motors sounds like thousands of wings beating the air. And the black domes rise and fold, swell and breathe in strangely compelling surges. Now looking like a mountain range with rolling hills, now like waves rolling into a beach. Now the umbrellas in the back rise together like shades escaping the grave. One leaves Undertow, Hull says, hopefully with many more questions than answers.
It kind of goes back to the definition of art. I mean, it's not definable. The moment you define it, that's the thing we can change, and I like that a lot. I think it's okay to walk in and say, what the heck is that? I mean, I hear that a lot. What the heck is that? And I think that's a fine first question. I think it's a really bad last question. And, ask more questions than that.
Greg Hull's exhibit at the Richmond Art Museum opens Sunday the 24th, and it runs through October 12th. For more information and directions, visit the Richmond Art Museum online at richmondartmuseum, all one word, .org, or call 765-966-0256. More of Greg Hull's work can be found online as well at greghull.com.